Today we're going to look at the three-tier survival system and how this is one of the best survival systems out there in the world today. Because you know what? It's all about redundancy. Redundancy is just a fancy way of saying I got backup systems. So if things go south on my adventure, or you're out scouting, or you're out exploring new terrain, if something happens, you have levels of survival safety to fall back on. Your very first one is your micro survival kit. Your second tier is your load carrying equipment. Some people refer to it as a LBE. And your last tier, your tier 3, is your backpack. Now each tier is designed to serve a very specific use and function. Now I know a lot of us, myself included, have pretty vivid imaginations. You know, we can imagine total apocalyptic scenarios, doomsday, things like that. But let's bring it down to a real at-home level. There are instances sometimes when people are on backcountry adventures and things can happen where you get separated from your main backpack. Now the main backpack is designed to set up your camp. So in a little while, we'll go through all those items in my backpack. And then with your LBE setup, you know, you're still carrying essential survival gear. So you want to go out and explore an area, check it out. So there's just one very simple situation where an accident didn't have to happen, but you are already separated from your backpack. So let's dive into the contents and I will show you what I'm carrying around. This is a military surplus woodland camo 3-day pack. And these are the extra canteen pouches that I purchased separately. So that's carrying 2 liters of water there. And also I have my rain fly for my pack. For tools in my pack, I'm carrying my Baco Laplander. This is a BPS Knives bushcraft knife. And I have my Grand Force Brook hatchet. So for a fire kit, and as you notice, I have all these kind of in water resistant bags. So stormproof matches, cotton balls and Vaseline, and another type of cotton fire starter there. Jute twine, dry bark, fire steel, and there's even some jute twine in the back of this one. This is a Strike Force, 3 lighters. Now I have some backups with my water system in my backpack. The main one here is the Katadyn pump. So I can set this up and with the hose and then refill my canteens from a stream or a lake. In a little more extreme circumstances, there is a Sawyer Mini in here, some water purification tablets, some iodine water purification tablets, and then the stabilizer. And also in here is what's called a millbank bag. So with this, you can literally scoop up dirty, swampy, muddy water, fill it right up, and this will keep any sediment from going through. So then you can have this drip into a cup for your canteen and then add a water purification tablet. That's if situation got a little more extreme. Keep a New Testament Bible, specifically because I'm a man of faith and my relationship with Jesus Christ and my Heavenly Father is really important to me. So I take a lot of enjoyment in reading God's Word and the encouragement I get from it. And then also I keep a spare battery bank with the proper charging cords for my phone. And then there's a charging cord for my flashlight, which is in my LBE system. And then spare batteries for a headlamp that's in my pockets. And at the very end, we'll do my pocket dump. So in the hygiene bag, I've got a Sea to Summit micro towel, a little scrubber here, which can be used on a pot or whatever. There's some sanitizer, small thing of shampoo, some polysporin, some soap, toothpaste, which I probably won't use because it's got fluoride in it. I don't like anything with fluoride. Blistex for chapstick, and then a little travel toothbrush, because hygiene is pretty important. Got to take care of yourself, and keep that body clean when you're out there. This one has my socks and underwear. Now, of course, I'm not gonna show you my underwear. That'd be just rude. This is my food bag. So I got various items in here. When you're packing your food bag, you're gonna, pack it with things you like to eat, stuff like that. So there's enough for a couple days in this food bag. And then I've got a gel methanol cooking thing. So this will give a bunch of hours of nice hot cooking heat to cook food. Mosquitoes, deer flies, horse flies, we've got every kind of biting bug here in Northwest Ontario. So a Sea to Summit mosquito net that you can set up in your tarp shelter. Pretty important. This is a bivy bag in woodland camo. Maybe I'll open up so you just kind of... So that's pretty compact, which is really good because, when nights get cool, or maybe it's a really kind of a damp night, you can get tucked away in that bivy bag and keep yourself dry and comfortable, because that's important. Here's a paracord bag. So there's 100 feet of paracord in here. Also, I'll show you what I keep in my paracord bag. I keep these ready-made tie-offs, because on a tarp, if I want to stake down the corners, I don't want to run the little openings aren't big enough to run a stake through. So if you run your paracord through your opening, and it attaches like this through the opening, now you have a spot here to stake your stake into the ground. So I keep several of these in my paracord bag with 25-foot hanks of paracord. And finally, I keep a 12-foot by 9.5-foot nylon tarp. This tarp is not that heavy. And also, this is a German military surplus foldable mat. So, if the weather starts getting cooler, you don't have to worry about trying to build a bedding on the ground. This folds out nice, and it gives you an insulating layer with the ground. So that's pretty important. Now, some of you might be wondering at this point, hey Jeff, like, where's your cooking kit in your backpack? Like, what in the world? Well, let's get into the LBE. Two really important pieces of kit to have on your LBE are a pair of gloves, because no matter what tasks you're going to be doing, whether gathering some wood or climbing up some rocks, your hands will always get tore up no matter what. So, and that can be simply attached with a carabiner. And if you buy the mechanics type gloves, they have a little loop here, so it makes it very easy to carry your gloves, so you always have them with you. Is a knife. Now, when you got your LBE system, it works really well to mount your knife so that it is a horizontal carry. The reason being is your knife is very easy to access. It's sitting down by your belly button, and it's very easy just to pull it out to the side. So now this is my other knife to use. So if I lose my backpack, now I still have a knife that I can do all kinds of tasks. Now, this knife is stainless steel. The knife in my backpack is carbon steel. So the other one in my pack, that's why it looked oily, because you got to keep oil on it or it'll rust. So this one, I keep a stainless steel blade, nice beefy. I really like having a knife with a 90-degree spine. That way I can strike on a fire steel. And also, when you get a knife, you want to make sure that it's full tang, that the steel runs all the way through, and it's always handy to make sure that you have a pummel on the end of it, a little one. So, either you can attach a lanyard, or even using it to maybe smash something or whatever. Maybe you got to smash out glass, who knows. But having a pummel on a knife is it's pretty important. Having a knife that's kind of on some style of a Kydex sheath is nice because it snaps in place and it's really easy and quick to withdraw that knife. Next on the LBE, right close to the front of my hips, I have two canteen pouches. Now they're mounted at the front because that way it helps balance out the LBE better. Lots of militaries use load-bearing equipment, so that's where I've kind of adopted this idea. Now, obviously, I'm not using this for a military or tactical situation, so I'm not mounting uh, magazine pouches here up at the front. This is for scouting in backcountry. So I have my canteens, and each canteen is holding a, a cup, stainless steel cup on the bottom. Now, the reason why I'm carrying two of these in here, so that way if I do need to boil water, it's always easier if I can boil 2 liters at once rather than doing 1 liter at a time. So I can cook food out of one cup and have hot drinks out of another cup. So that gives me 2 more canteens. So with the ruck, that's 4 liters. That's enough water for one day's journey. On my left side, behind the canteen, so this is an ammo pouch. So right off the hop, you can see that I have a dummy cord set up. Now every item in here, other than some mosquito repellent, is dummy corded because this is all critical kit. Now it's all attached with carabiners, so that way I can easily take it off and make use of the items. So in here you can see I have a flashlight, I've got a spoon, I have a fire steel, my Leatherman, I've got a sharpening tool that I can sharpen my knife, touch up the blade on my hatchet, things like that. And then there is an emergency glow stick. So these work really good if you got lost. You can snap this and spin it around with the paracord and it'll make a nice glowing like fire type ring that could be seen for many, many miles. So these are the essential kit items that are in this ammo pouch. This ammo pouch is on my right side. Now my right side is my dominant side. So my right hand is the hand that I'm going to be using a hatchet with or a knife. And because I'm using tools with this hand, the chances of this hand getting injured that way are not as likely. It'll be more chances that I would injure my other hand or my leg or something like that. So it's on my right side so I can quickly access a cat tourniquet. Now this is a genuine cat tourniquet, not a generic brand. A 6-inch Israeli hemorrhage bandage for trauma wounds, and some Piranha trauma shears. So if I gotta open up the pants on my leg or I gotta cut straps off my backpack or something, who knows? I go through lots of crazy terrain where the beavers get at, things like that, and they leave what I call nature's punji sticks all over the place. So you have to be really careful because if you ever fell on one of those and you didn't have something to take care of your wounds, it could be game over. So I made myself a new, smaller, compact set of Ranger beads. So 9 beads on the bottom, goes up to 900 meters, and then 5 beads on the top for 5 kilometers. Now I have a video on this on my channel. If you're not sure how to use Ranger beads, check it out. So what I made here is a zigzag drawstring retention system on the back panel of my LBE. The way this works is you just simply take a piece of paracord and just keep zigzagging it all the way down, and then add one of these spring toggles. And then this allows you to, if you're wearing some clothing that you want to take off, this gives you a quick method to secure something like a jacket or a poncho or some other piece of kit on the back side of your LBE. So then it simply cinches up that way, and then to stow it, you can just tuck the other paracord out of the way. Now, This doesn't interfere with the backpack in any way. The butt pack, so this contains pretty crucial items that if you're separated from your ruck, there is a rain poncho in here. I've got 4 MRE bars. I've got a blaze orange hunting reflective vest on here, so that if I was really in a situation and I wanted to create a flag, or just maybe it was hunting season, who knows. This puts a nice marker on me. Cordage in here. So I've got various Hank lengths of paracord in here. Now I have a little camp screen. There's no sharp edges on this. So this way, if I put a couple rocks, I get a fire going, I can set my cup on there and then I can cook. So this is technically my grating for my stove system. And then also in here, I've got a tarp. So I've got a Marpat surplus tarp and some creamy chicken flavored rice. So there's enough in here to give you a couple meals for a day. So that are the contents in my butt pack. Now let's say something totally extreme happened. I lost my backpack, I lost my LBE, and maybe I am running for my life from a crazy moose that is just chasing me down. I mean, he's just got a thing for me, and he's just hard after me, and I am barreling through swamps and everything else to get away from this moose. I've got one last survival tier. That is your tier 1. So this is the most important kit for you to have. You must carry this on you at all times, no matter what you're doing. So let's break it down. In my right cargo pocket are the items that I'm going to use fairly regularly when I'm on the trail, but they can also be used for an emergency type situation as well. Obviously, the emergency blanket is for emergency system to wrap up with and maintain your body heat. What I have here is a mosquito head net. Nothing will drive you insane and crazy more than being attacked by a bunch of bugs trying to bite you in the face. And then critical is your navigation. So you want to always have a map of your area and a compass, and it's really important that you know how to use that. Carry a headlamp, so that way if you can't travel by night, maybe it's too hot, maybe you're in a desert, who knows, then at least you have a headlamp, and then you can hit the first button and use the red to read your map and compass at night so that you can still find your way. And sometimes it's good just to take notes on your journey. Maybe you've come across certain areas and you want to take specific notes of certain things. Maybe you found some various water sources, things like that. So you can jot that information down on here. Also, because this is a write in a rain, you could leave an emergency note. You could write a note and literally stick that onto a branch like this. Write yourself a note and the branch is sticking out, and then shove that on there. And if people are looking, they're like, hey, this guy was here. So you can leave signs like that so that people can find you, and especially if you're lost. So if I'm not wearing my Arctis cargo pants or another type of cargo pants, I'm generally wearing my Cry Precision pants. And the reason I wear them because they're really tough, really durable for outdoors terrain. And they've got pockets in very specific locations that make stowing certain items really handy and really accessible, especially the pockets on the knees, the cargo pockets, the bungee retentions in the cargo pockets, things like that. So normally these items, rather than having them all in my right pocket, they can be spread out on my body more with a different style of pants. Now your micro survival kit, that's your most important fallback. This should be your number one priority when you're putting your kit together, the most important item that you need to think about. So I used an old camera case because it has a belt loop. So if I was in a situation like I'll be carrying that in my cargo pocket, but I usually always wear a belt. Once I got into that really bad situation, then I can attach it to my belt. Inside, there is a Fox 40 emergency whistle. I also keep just a fairly cheap backup compass, but I've used a compass like this for many years, so the needle always points north. That's what matters. So we have a couple lighters in here for fire lighting, a Swiss Army knife, also a fire steel in case the lighters got smashed. This is an emergency water filter. Now this gets used in conjunction with the Ziploc baggies in here. So if there was a water source, I could fill up my Ziploc baggie, put the baggie, put the water in my pocket, and then open up the baggie, put the straw in, and drink some water, and know that the water is getting purified with this little micro water purifier. And then last but not least, there is a signal mirror. So these are really handy. We'll cast a reflection many, many, many miles using the sun. So that's pretty important to have. So these are the items that I have in my micro survival kit. And I almost forgot to mention, because these were in my pockets as well, but they were in my shirt pocket. So wet wipes, really important when you got to go to the bathroom out of the bush. It's been numerous times I've been caught. All of a sudden the stomach was not happy. So that's really important to have that for hygiene. Keep yourself clean. And a small first aid kit. So this has some iodine salve in it, some anti-inflammatory pills, band-aids. So basic things like that. Now I keep these kind of little pills in here because my head is very susceptible to strong barometric pressure changes, and I get the worst migraines from it. So keep some simple medicine like that on hand. The waist strap on the backpack is just tucked away and done up. So it's not necessary because the backpack is resting on the butt pack. So the butt pack supports the backpack. So all you need is just your shoulder straps and then attach your sternum strap. No matter what your outdoor adventure lays before you, make sure you do the proper planning beforehand and that you have a specific kit that's going to meet your needs and serve you well and keep you alive if you ever found yourself caught in some type of absolutely bizarre situation, because things can happen really fast and really unexpectedly. Just a simple example of how things can happen really quick. Last fall, I was out mucking around in the bush. I was up on a high embankment of bedrock, and I kind of, I had a route planned out that I was going to take, and I took one step, and the flipping rock that I stepped in gave way, and I went shoo right down the side of the rock face, 15 feet. Now, I was lucky because I normally wear knee protection. I didn't have any elbow pads at the time, but that was the first thing that hit the rock when I went down was my knee pad and my other knee. So that knee folded in behind me, and I literally rode down that rock on my knee and then hit the bottom and then just tumbled. Now, that's how fast things can happen. So when people say, "Oh, I'm never losing my backpack," or blah blah, no, you never know. Especially when you're going out in unknown terrain, exploring, and just kind of, living life like an early pioneer. You never know what can happen. So it's important to always be prepared and be ready. And if a three-tier survival system is something that might work for you, or there's items from this video that you can glean and that might help you and give you other ideas on creating your own system, that's awesome. Then that's what this is. That's what this channel, that's what this video is all about. Now, on a side note, it doesn't have to be surplus gear. You can be wearing a regular backpack, and you can make yourself some type of fanny pack system with also a micro survival kit. So there's different things you can do depending on your surroundings. I do a lot of backcountry exploring, and so I dress and prepare my kit accordingly for that environment. All right, everyone, I wish you all the best. I hope you have a blessed day. Thank you for being a part of this channel. Please like and subscribe, and we'll catch you all in the next video. Bye now.